Our Peasant Long Spearmen F tier in patch 8.0. This unit was the first time I noticed my videos being Google results when looking up a particular unit. It's time to revisit the Spearmen, and I don't mean to make it sound personal. They're just mainly good at keeping bad things away from you and from your valuable crossbow lines. This is a so-called Tier 0 unit. Basic recruitment can be done at any settlement, but it gets better if you want it to. You have options. Recruited for 350 gold and 88 upkeep by default, on Ultra Scale, you get 160 entities with 8,960 health between them. It's important to get this out of the way now. This is a Skaven stat sheet. The cheapness, unit size, and relative health definitely feels a lot like Clanrats, except a little less healthy, but all that quantity is its own quality stuff will apply here. Armor begins at a paltry 15. Leadership by default is 55, which is not as low as Skaven, but which isn't high. Speed 30 and Charge Speed 38 are actually noticeably faster than Jade Warriors, but not enormously. This will mostly matter for shuffling them around army formations. Melee attack begins at 20, but completely unlike Empire Spearmen, attack interval 4 seconds is actually not bad at all. Their offensive output is low efficiency, but not slow in the attack. No splash damage, that's not how honorary pikemen work. Melee defense begins at 24. Weapon strength 25 is split base 19 and armor piercing 6. That's very interesting, because the loss is mainly in the base component. The armor piercing is only 1 lower than an Empire Swordsman. This needs to be factored into the bonus versus large of 17, which is, as these things go, quite high. And it's actually 1 point better than Jade Warrior's halberds. Math check. What's our actual damage against large? An increase of 85% split along the same ratio means base 35 and armor piercing 11 for a total of 46. That's what each long spearman in a 160 entity unit can do to mounted yeomen or dark riders or empire knights where it's less impressive, at rank 0 with no other boosts at all. Oh, and melee attack is 37 against those foes. Charge bonus is 3, a miserable number we had to have expected, and mass is a basic 100 per entity. This is a Yang Harmony unit, but hold that thought. Rather than merely charge bonus versus large, this unit has expert charge defense, control, or slayer. Charge bonus will be negated from the front. Norscan infantry will howl in outrage. Charge reflection is present to better damage charging enemies for a brief window of time. This is an expendable unit, so if it routs, non-peasants don't care, peasants do. Hide in Forest is ho-hum, but what's interesting is that this too is a formation attack unit. It will try to remain in an organized block and therefore be harder to destroy quickly, which limits its killing power to a point, but helps the defensive holding ability. I understand that there is a hidden +5 melee defense that is granted because of formation attack. Mileage will vary, but it's great when it works. Yang Harmony, referring back to my video on the subject, is +4 leadership, melee attack, and melee defense at base value, +8 to all 3 at the cap of +100% amplification. Just raising it to +4 is still a big deal here. After all, 160 entities. In the redline skills, 3 pips in Unyielding will increase melee attack and melee defense by +6 each. Given the low default stats, this combination is shocking. Rank 7 and up Peasant Long Spearmen benefit from Blades of the Bastion for +6 leadership, +5 melee defense, and +10% spell resistance, since spells become a better way to damage them quickly than a lot of other things at that rank. In the tech tree, there's still a lot. Mastery of Yang is a turn 3 tech and can provide you leadership +4 since this is a Yang unit, and melee attack +4 because this is a melee unit. I'll mention Yang Reflection and its +5% campaign movement range and +10% weapon strength when attacking. Inner speed for less fatigue and +20% more speed is still nuts and helpful. Contained aggression is tailor-made for this unit, and Peasant Horsemen for that matter, for leadership +6 and armor +10. When you started with 15, that's a big deal. Jade Stance furthers this by offering armor plus 15 and melee defense plus 4 for this peasant unit. Are you with me? We've raised leadership from 55 to 65, melee attack from 20 to 24, melee defense from 24 to 28, armor from 15 to 40, and that's without unyielding in the redline skills, and that's without harmony buffs mid-battle, and of course without Zhao Ming. And this unit still has a bonus versus large of 17. Drill training adds armor plus 10 to melee units, leadership plus 6 for melee units, and melee defense plus 4 for melee units. We just went to armor 50 for Peasant Long Spearmen. Leadership 61, melee defense 32, or the Empire Swordsman median standard, before unyielding and before harmony. Jade Veteran Facility reduces upkeep and raises recruit rank further, and slaps on plus 4 melee attack, because we didn't have enough. So how do we use Peasant Long Spearmen? Just so we understand this, there's an infrastructure building you can build that will, at tier 3 power, give recruit rank plus 6 to Peasant Long Spearmen. The yin equivalent shaves 80% off the recruitment cost, but it's easy to see you caring about the recruit rank more. And since the tech tree helps with that further, we're looking at easy access to rank 8 one-turn recruitment spearmen, if not rank 9, if you want to. It is a choice. And that choice is favored by Yang because it helps increase recruitment slots and rank on its own, so yeah. This is the unit I saw a YouTuber recently give an F ranking to in a tier list. Now, I appreciate why he gave it that. They're competing for army slots with Jade Warriors, and for a lot of purposes, Jade Warriors are a fierce curveball against enemy factions. Long Spearmen are more conventional, and are thin-skinned and cheap, and yes, expendable but mainly cheap. They're numerous, and they're cheap. Did I mention cheap? And yet the degree you can crank them up is utterly ridiculous. If you care about holding more than killing, Long Spearmen can be shockingly adequate in a wide variety of situations. Of course, they're vulnerable to even the most basic base-tilted damage magic, let alone basic archers. If you care about killing that which is large and ugly, Long Spearmen have a good enough amount of armor piercing that even unbuffed and unloved, they'll bleed trolls a fair bit and force them to rely on regeneration to stay in the fight. But of course, we'd be idiots not to buff them somehow. The reason I keep mentioning unyielding is that it's not as if this applies only to Long Spearmen. If you're buffing melee troops generally, then you buff them too. If you're buffing Tiger Warriors through the red line, you're buffing Long Spearmen too. Aside from the base damage tilt, Tiger Warriors, the most basic ones, are an excellent complement, and while harmony is irrelevant for them, that also means lack of a yin unit in the vicinity doesn't hurt them. Long Spearmen can twist trolls and so on into pretzels and make your life a lot easier. In general, they take up space and block off your soft back lines, and that's really valuable in itself. Basically, they're not the front line you want, but they're often the flank sealers you need. And one, to ward off backstabbers hitting your missile infantry and triggering harmony bonuses for your damage dealer missile units, can be a good use too. But they're not fast, they're not power projection tools, they rely on the enemy coming to punch them in the face. In fact, it's virtually useless to you unless the enemy comes to do that, but most do in some fashion. This is to say, don't be too shocked that range-heavy factions can shoot it to pieces. That's not a job they're equipped or paid to handle. Now, in a perfect world, would we replace them all with Jade Warriors with halberds or Celestial Dragon Guard? Well, absolutely we would. It'd cost a fortune, but we'll happily do so if we can. In the meantime, can you get by with Long Spearmen? Absolutely. And when they fall, your Jade Crossbows won't even bat an eyebrow. Peasant life is rough, but they are serving a valuable purpose here. That, and anything you do to diminish enemy armor, makes them weirdly killy. So don't discount that. Don't be too dazzled by the stats though. In the end, this unit exists to slow down the pace the enemy kills it. I deem it shockingly good for what you're paying, but these are peasants, not Eshin triads. Defense isn't a side hustle, it's the main gig. Take care, and have fun showing the softer skinned monsters that even glorified pointy sticks can still hurt a lot.